At first, nobody took them seriously, but for four young men from London, music was everything they had. Brian May built his own guitar, Roger Taylor practiced his drums, John Deacon fine-tuned his bass, and Freddie Mercury had big ideas for a band that didn't even exist yet. They had talent, they had passion, but no one knew where they would go. People didn't take them seriously. Their music was different. I'm alone in the dark. Too dramatic, too bold. But then, almost by accident, they created something special and something unforgettable happened. Well, this is the story of how four friends became the greatest rock band of the 70s. The story begins in the late 60s. Two university students in London, Brian May and Roger Taylor, formed a band called Smile. Brian played guitar and Roger was the drummer. They performed at small venues, hoping to make it big, but something was missing. That's when they met Freddie Mercury. Freddie wasn't in the band at first, but he was a huge fan. He believed Smile had potential, but needed a new sound and a bigger stage presence. When their lead singer left, Freddie jumped in. He had a vision. He wanted to mix rock with opera, add drama to performances, and create music no one had ever heard before. Freddie didn't just join the band, he changed it completely. He suggested they rename themselves Queen because it sounded powerful, royal, and unforgettable. But they still needed a bass player. That's when John Deacon joined in 1971. Unlike Freddie, who was loud and full of energy, John was quiet and reserved. But his skill on the bass made him the perfect final piece of the puzzle. Now Queen was complete. They had the talent, the vision, and the passion. But they still needed something even bigger, a chance to prove themselves. Every great band has tough beginnings, and Queen was no different. In the early 1970s, they faced rejection after rejection. Record labels didn't know what to do with them. Their music was too different, too dramatic, too experimental. Radio stations wouldn't play their songs and they struggled to get gigs. But they didn't give up. To keep going, they played small shows, took side jobs, and recorded demo tapes whenever they could. Freddie Mercury believed in the band more than anything. He was convinced they had something special, even if no one else saw it yet. Then in 1973, they finally got their big break. EMI Records signed them, and Queen released their first album. The album, called Queen, wasn't a huge hit, but it got people talking. Songs like Keep Yourself Alive showed their talent, and slowly they started to gain fans. Their second album, Queen 2, was even better. It had more powerful songs, deeper lyrics, and a bigger sound. But it was their third album, Sheer Heart Attack, that truly made them stars. The song Killer Queen became a hit, reaching the top 10 in the UK and even getting attention in the US. Suddenly, Queen wasn't just another struggling band. They were on their way to becoming rock legends. But their biggest moment was still ahead. In 1975, they walked into the studio with an idea for a song that would change rock music forever. It was bold, risky, and completely unlike anything that had ever been done before. And it was about to make Queen unstoppable. By 1975, Queen was gaining fans, but they still hadn't reached the top. That was about to change. Freddie Mercury had an idea for a song, something completely different from anything heard before. It would be long, dramatic, and mix opera with rock. The band spent weeks recording it, layering vocals and instruments over and over again. That song was Bohemian Rhapsody. At first, no one believed it would work. Radio stations thought it was too long and refused to play it. But Queen didn't back down. They took the song to a DJ who played it on air, and people went crazy for it. Soon, every station wanted to play it. When A Night at the Opera was released, it became a huge success. Queen was no longer just another rock band. They were superstars. From there, hit after hit followed. Somebody to Love, 1976. We Will Rock You, 1977. We Are the Champions, 1977. Queen didn't just make great music. They changed the way people saw rock. Their concerts became huge shows with bright lights, wild costumes, and unforgettable performances. By the late 70s, Queen wasn't just popular, they were unstoppable. Queen was one of the biggest rock bands in the world. Their music wasn't just popular, it was everywhere. But what made Queen different from other bands? First, their music style was unique. Most rock bands stuck to guitars, drums, and straightforward lyrics. Queen, on the other hand, mixed in opera, gospel, and even disco. Every song felt like a new experience. One moment they'd release a song like We Will Rock You, a hard-hitting anthem that stadiums loved. The next they'd drop a song like Don't Stop Me Now, a fast, upbeat track that felt completely different. Second, Freddie Mercury's stage presence was unmatched. While other rock stars ran around the stage with guitars, Freddie commanded the audience like a true showman. He made every performance feel personal, engaging crowds of thousands as if he were singing just to them. His confidence, dramatic movements, and powerful voice made Queen's concerts unforgettable. Then there were the live shows. Queen's performances weren't just about music. They were full-scale productions. From bright lights to wild outfits, every concert felt like a spectacle. They weren't just playing songs, they were giving fans an experience. Their success in the 70s also came from constant reinvention. Many bands find a style and stick with it. Queen, however, kept evolving. Songs like Bicycle Race and Fat Bottom Girls showed their ability to have fun, while Love of My Life revealed their softer, emotional side. By the end of the 70s, Queen had everything: record-breaking albums, sold-out tours, and a loyal fan base. They were no longer just rock stars, they were legends. But as the 80s approached, things were about to change. Some of the band's biggest moments were still ahead, but so were some of their biggest challenges. Even though Queen became one of the biggest rock bands in history, they also faced heartbreak. In 1991, Freddie Mercury passed away from complications related to AIDS. His death shocked the world. Queen had been on top for nearly 2 decades, and now their lead singer, the voice of the band, was gone. Fans were heartbroken, and many wondered if this was the end of Queen. After Freddie's passing, Deacon, the bassist, decided to leave the band. He had always been the quietest member of Queen, and without Freddie, he didn't want to continue. He retired from music completely, choosing to live a private life away from the spotlight. That left just Brian May and Roger Taylor. At first, they weren't sure what to do. Queen wasn't just any band, it was a band built around 4 members, and without Freddie and John, things felt different. For a while, Queen didn't tour or release new music, but Queen's music never disappeared. Their songs remained popular, appearing in movies, TV shows, and even commercials. In 1992, Bohemian Rhapsody became a hit again after being featured in the movie Wayne's World. New generations of fans discovered Queen, proving that their music would never go out of style. Then in 2018, the movie Bohemian Rhapsody was released. It told the story of Queen's rise to fame and became a huge success. The film introduced Queen's music to an even younger audience, and their songs topped the charts again, decades after they were first released. But what about Brian and Roger? In the 2000s, they started performing again, this time with Adam Lambert as their lead singer. Adam had a powerful voice and a theatrical stage presence, just like Freddie. He wasn't trying to replace Freddie, but instead, he helped keep Queen's music alive. The band started touring again under the name Queen plus Adam Lambert, selling out shows all over the world. Today, Queen is still one of the most legendary rock bands ever. Their songs continue to inspire people, their music is played in stadiums and on the radio, and their influence can be heard in modern artists. Even after all these years, one thing is clear: Queen's music will never die.